Welcome back to Wings Nuts. This is the audio program that talks about each and every episode of the classic 1990s sitcom Wings. Just for the taste of it. Hey Emerson, my man, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. That's my attempt at a Ray Charles.
Oh, that was excellent, yes.
He was the Pepsi guy, right? Just for the taste of it?
Uh-huh.
Or no, was that Diet Coke?
Wait, uh-huh. It was one of those beverages.
Is just for the taste of it Diet Coke?
You know, I think Coke was like just do it or something.
That was Nike.
Oh, damn it.
The Coke was like, well, it became the real thing.
The real thing.
Whatever.
Yeah.
At one point. But I wonder if that was acknowledging their mistake when they switched from... When they introduced New Coke, and for the first time, Pepsi won the. Have you heard this?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I recall people were not happy about New Coke.
Yeah, they hated New Coke, and for like a period of time, Pepsi became like the favorite cola. Coke brought Coca-Cola Classic back, and I think has been number one ever since.
Yeah. Well, you know, I heard that in blind taste tests, Pepsi always wins. But
I like Pepsi.
Pepsi used to be my favorite, but I, for the most part, quit drinking soda. And I'd recommend that an easy thing you can do that'll improve your health greatly is just quit drinking soda. Once you won't miss it after a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, I drink soda once. Maybe like once every 4 or 5 months.
Yes.
Like there's a restaurant that I've fallen in love with called California Fish Cafe. There's a chain, so I'm sure they're up there.
Yeah, been there. I like that place. Yeah.
I love that place. And on Taco Tuesdays they have like taco combo specials. So it's like $12 and you get 2 like Cajun shrimp tacos and whatever, a couple sides, like a side of rice, a side of like zucchini, and a drink, and like every once in a while I'll throw on like a can of Pepsi.
Just to treat yourself. You had a hard week to deserve it.
It's kind of nice. It's kind of enjoy it. But then for the most part, yeah, I stopped drinking soda. I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago, and it definitely was a bump up in my health at the time. I replaced it with alcohol.
Yes.
So what have you been up to?
You know, I'm enjoying the summer. I'll say that. Kids out of school.
Oh, yeah.
Got some like family health things happening. That's kind of why we've been lagging here. That's my fault. So apologies. But, you know, other than that, everything's swell.
Well, sorry to hear about the family health stuff.
Yeah. How about you?
I went to Oregon.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I flew to Bend, Oregon, and the night that I landed, I saw a comedy show. There's a venue up there called the Hayden Homes Amphitheater. I guess Hayden Homes is like a big construction company in Bend.
Okay.
And they sponsored the amphitheater and got their name put on it. But it was John Mulaney headlining with like Fred Armisen, Mike Birbiglia, and then a fourth guy that I can't remember his name. He was like he was also funny. It was 65 degrees, in the day, but it was like 34 and windy at night, and like it was so funny to see these comedians just like hunched with like jackets, trying like Mike Birbiglia, his nose was like bright red just because of like the wind cold, and he just kept on going like, where the fuck are we here at the house builders amphitheater?
Yeah, that's a stacked bill.
Yeah, like Fred Armisen was great, and then John Mulaney, kind of like got rolling and kind of like was getting the heat going, and he took his jacket off, and he was like in a long sleeve shirt and a tie and his suit pants, and like 20 minutes after that, he was like, I really, really regret taking my jacket off. He's like, but I can't put it back on now. It'd just be too awkward.
Yes.
Yeah, I think since we recorded last, I also like joined a sketch team. Gold Baby. do shows in Hollywood every couple of months. I'm a new member and I don't know a lot, but I want to promote it because it's a very funny team. And I got to do a monologue about a dog who likes to eat dog shit.
That's great.
Yeah.
When are you hitting the stage next?
I think it's August 1st. It's the first Saturday in August.
Mark your calendars.
Yeah. Mark your calendars, boys.
Yeah, and this week we are talking about the season 4, 13th episode entitled Labor Pains. And the original release date was January 28th, 1993. Emerson, did you happen to dig up a synopsis for this one?
Our boy Ed Mahoney IV is back. After a trip to see a friend in Boston at Logan Airport and finding out how much more he gets paid, Lowell decides to ask Roy and Joe for a raise. Following Antonio's advice, Lowell threatens to leave for a job in Boston if his demands aren't met. Joe can't afford the raise, and Roy refuses to cough up any more money. Even though he doesn't want that job in Boston, Lowell continues to bluff until he finds himself out of a job, replaced by Gil, and saying goodbye to his friends. But later that night, Lowell returns, much to everyone's surprise, and pays Antonio back for his advice.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. And I loved seeing Gil in this episode. I like when you see a familiar face on a show before they were a familiar face, you know?
Wait, who's Gil?
It was played by Phil Lamar, who from Mad TV. But this was before Mad TV, this appearance.
Oh, cool.
So let's hit the cast and crew of this episode. We have the mainstay Andy Ackerman directing on the ones and twos. And this episode was written by one of the producers, Mr. Dave Hackle. And Hackle has written a gaggle of previous episodes. Season 1, he wrote There Once Was a Girl from Nantucket. He wrote All for One and Two for Helen. Then in Season 2, he wrote A Stand-Up Kind of Guy, Love is Like Pulling Teeth, Murder, She Wrote, The Naked Truth, Great Expectations, 4 Dates to Live in Infamy. Those last 3 were from Season 3. And then getting to Season 4, he previously wrote Two Jerks and a Jill, and that brings us up to this episode, Labor Pains. So we'll hear more from Mr. Dave Hackle later on. And IMDb listed a whole bunch of guest stars in this episode. I'm going to skip a few of them because they were actors with no actual dialogue, just background. But we had Lisa Edelstein, and
yes,
she played
House. I love Lisa Edelstein.
So you recognized her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's from the TV show House. Like, she plays like the administrative head, I think, of the hospital that House works at. Okay, yeah, I've seen a little bit of House. I did not recognize her though. I also saw her in Frasier, which you might get to as you read her credits. Yeah, sorry. She had such a long CV that I definitely did not even write down half of them. Yeah. She's a major actor now. Both her and Phil Lamar went on to have long and illustrious careers, but it was early in their career for both of them. But Lisa Edelstein, who played Marsha Peebles, and I'm not even going to try to spell her name.
I'm Marsha Peebles. It's like Pebbles, but with an extra E, one less B, and a capital P.
She appeared on Mad About You, Seinfeld, Larry Sanders, Ned and Stacy, Almost Perfect, ER, Sports Night, West Wing, Ally McBeal, Leap of Faith, Felicity, and like you said, she was Lisa Cuddy on House. She also appeared on Children's Hospital, Castle, A Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce as the regular character Abby, and The Good Doctor. And then we had Phil Lamar, who played Gil, and I was shocked at how much animation he's done. A lot of voice work, like for instance, he's the Green Lantern in all the DC cartoons. But he was on the Mr. T cartoon, he was on Murphy Brown, Mad About You, a series regular on the George Carlin Show. He was memorable in Pulp Fiction, and of course, Mad TV, I think is. Is he Marvin in Pulp Fiction? Yeah, when I don't know. Damn, I just blew Marvin's head off. Yeah, I think I'm not sure. He was in the scene where Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta go into the apartment with the hamburgers and they steal the Sprite. That scene. Yeah. Yeah, with what's that other actor's name? DB. Is it DB Sweeney or something?
Yeah, he's Marvin. Yeah.
Marvin. Okay. Yeah. So
he's their inside man that's like in the back seat when they're driving away, and then John Travolta blows his head off by accident.
Yeah, he's memorable to me in that movie. He's on NYPD Blue, The Weekenders, Justice League, Proud Family, Harvey Birdman, Samurai Jack, Bob's Burgers, Star Trek, Lower Decks, King of the Hill, and American Dad.
Who does he play in King of the Hill? Do you have that, or is it?
I did not save that.
Yeah, no sweat.
But he is a regular on King of the Hill as well.
Oh, he is.
Yes. Most of the cartoons I noted, he's a regular on, so he plays like a main character. But it seems like he does more animation than he does live action.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And then we had John Petlock, who was the waiter in the Fancy Restaurant.
Okay.
He was a regular on General Hospital, appeared on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Dallas, Charlie's Angels, Taxi, Family Ties, Out of This World, Quantum Leap, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Murder, She Wrote, Days of Our Lives, and also Ned and Stacy.
Okay, Ned and Stacy.
Yep. And that kind of rounds out our guest stars in this one. I thought we had some memorable guest stars this time around.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well, are you ready to talk up some news? And of course, we looked at newspapers and news of the day from the day of this episode's release, January 28th, 1993.
And we try to stick to the area newspapers. So we're pulling from the Inquirer and Mirror, which is a Nantucket newspaper, and the Lowell Connector, which is a Massachusetts. I'm not sure like where that is truly.
No, me neither. But it is, Massachusetts. It's named Lowell, and it's just an easy, fun newspaper to find too.
Yeah.
Well, I got a story for us here.
Let's do it.
Do you remember a couple months back when they had the big storm in Nantucket, the nor'easter? Yeah, this is kind of a follow-up. Headline, FEMA will pay 75% of cleanup costs to town by Jeffrey Keegan, staff writer. The Federal Emergency Management Agency will reimburse the town 75% of the cost of removing debris that washed onto private property during December's nor'easter. According to Ed Lisius, FEMA External Affairs Officer, the state will pay another 12.5% of the cleanup through MEMA, the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency. MEMA. That would leave only 12.5% of the tab left for the town to pay. If the community is willing to undertake the work, we will reimburse, Lisius said. And then they skipping ahead, they put a lot of stipulations on it. They said individual assistance will not be a part of this storm. The numbers just weren't there, Lisius said. FEMA is still evaluating the total cost of on-the-island damage that the agency will reimburse. Statewide, FEMA is paying between $6 million and $6.5 million in property damages. Debris removed and other small projects must be completed within 6 months of a disaster to be considered for reimbursement. Larger projects must be completed with 18 months. Towns can get extensions by applying to MEMA, Lisius said. Lisius said Nantucket officials have become very proficient at negotiating with federal and state agencies in cleanup efforts. This town hasn't had many questions because this is the third storm we've had within several months, he said, referring to meetings he has had with Nantucket officials to discuss recent storms. This was almost like a reunion. So there you have it. Funds coming through for storm cleanups.
All right. All right, so this is from the Lowell Connector. This is an ad on page 18. Air Force ROTC filled to capacity. Not. Don't believe everything you hear. The Air Force continues to seek outstanding students to fill future officer requirements. See yourself becoming a leader, graduating from college as an Air Force officer with fully developed qualities of character and managerial ability. Notice, too, the opportunities, like eligibility for scholarship programs that can pay tuition, textbooks, fees, even $100 in tax-free income each academic month. Visualize a crisp uniform that reflects pride in yourself and your ability to accept challenge. Get the picture? Now make a call. 934-2252. Aim high, Air Force. I love the Air Force getting sassy. Air Force ROTC filled to capacity. Not. I feel like that joke was already outdated by 1993.
Yeah, that's like a Wayne's World joke or something, right?
Well, it was like an 80s joke.
Yes.
Like psych and not were things that like we were saying on like the elementary school playground.
Yeah, I think I way overused those terms.
Not psych.
And always, the armed services are always marketing to youth too, sadly.
Yep.
Well, I pulled a lot of letters this time. The letters in the Inquirer Mirror were just fantastic. So
nice.
Give me that. I like this letter. Live aboard boat problems. Really made me think of Lowell there.
I read through that one too. I love this one.
To the editor. I'm writing this letter to inform you of the problems which have been going on for years, and I feel it is about time that something was done to help alleviate it. I recently had a 42-foot rotted boat come ashore on my property, one of the so-called live-aboard boats, which frequent our southerly end of the anchorage area of the harbor. Most are trash and should not be allowed in our harbor. I feel for some of these people who live aboard in the summer and rent their homes to supplement their incomes. With others, it's a habit. Live on these hulks, go to Florida and do the same. My proposal to the board is to strengthen the marine superintendent's rules to include the following. All live aboard should have holding tanks. None have such. Also to be strong enough so that when tied to their moorings, they will not break loose in a storm, thus causing damage to some beautiful yachts nearby. When they apply for a mooring permit, the Marine Department inspects the hull and also sees that said boats can get underway in case of a storm within a reasonable time limit of 6 hours. If they cannot meet these rules, the Marine Department will not issue a mooring permit. Thus, they will have to remove the boat from our harbor or get it out of our area. This at one time was brought up in an article at town meeting and turned down. I don't think such action should have to be taken. Rather, the Board of Selectmen could make it a part of the process of obtaining a mooring permit and approve or deny. Following is what would have cost the owner to remove the rotted boat from my property, or if no owner is located, it would become the responsibility of the town of Nantucket to remove it. 72 hours is the time limit to remove a boat based on marine law. By the way, I pay $4,000 per year in taxes for this beach lot, which is postage stamp size, and I don't feel that I should have to look out at a rotted boat, so I took it upon myself to remove same, after Mr. Franzuto, superintendent of the Marine Department, tried to find the last known owner, which took 8 days. When the owner was contacted, everything I was having done was approved. I finally received a call from the owner who stated that he wanted the boat removed from the beach, and he said it met with his approval. He said he had no money to remove it himself. I was tired of looking at it, and I offered to have my family and friends cut up the wreckage and take it to the landfill. After calling him several times, the owner, and receiving no answer, I proceeded to have the boat removed. By the way, I still haven't seen him, nor do I know him. Only by name. He also has not contacted the Marine Department, according to the superintendent, but the boat is now long gone. The cost to me was nothing, as my friends and family pitched in their labor, as well as 2 dump trucks, 2 pickup trucks. 7 men worked 6.5 hours on Saturday and 3 hours on Sunday. 1 dump truck and a wrecker truck for 1 day, plus 3 hours on Sunday. The total cost to owner, or town if it was responsible, came to $2,250. But as I said, it was donated. I went to the town building on Monday, December 28th, and explained this to the executive secretary, and asked that she be my spokesperson, as I was still weak from my recent serious illness, and I felt I didn't want to appear before the board. I now feel much stronger, And if you have any further questions either for myself or Mr. Franzuto, we will be glad to answer them. Oh, by the way, I went to the office on Tuesday a little upset because it wasn't brought up on Wednesday, December 30th, as Miss Kennedy had left for the holidays. I talked to Mrs. Oliver, and she suggested I write a letter and come before the board. When I went in to see Miss Kennedy, I said I wanted to make a deal. Since my friends and family volunteered labor and equipment, I feel like I wanted to give them a tip of $50 each, or $350 total. Therefore, I would submit a bill for $350 as tips for my volunteer help, in lieu of what it would have cost, $2,250 if the town had to take care of it. Written by one Alan Holdgate.
Alan Holdgate.
I have a feeling like he worked out a scam to try to get $350 from the city. Don't look for the boat. It's no longer there. Trust me, it was there.
I just did a Google search for Nantucket Alan Holdgate, and it says that he ran Nantucket Memorial Airport.
No way.
And this is like from a 2020 article. Snow was invited to go duck hunting by Alan Holdgate, who ran Nantucket Memorial Airport. Oh, I think he might have passed away in 1994, though.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if it's the same guy.
Hold the gate!
Oh, it's Mark Barron.
Well, I think it's a theme, too, that we run across of people with beachfront property who think it's everyone else's problems when their lives are like slightly inconvenienced.
Is his name Allen? Alan?
It's Alan.
Oh, it is. Okay, then maybe he's not dead. Maybe this is a. Oh, he was a former harbor master too. I'm seeing like a.
Huh.
I wonder. I was curious because like he describes his property as like postage stamp sized.
Yes,
but it's like on the beach. I'm sure it's like probably like a mansion.
Yeah. He was speaking a bit poetically there.
Oh, well, give me that. I'm going to jump into the Nantucket Inquirer and Mirror, the favorite weekly newspaper of Nantucket Island, read by thousands every week. Advertise now. I'm pulling something from the front page. This is by Jeffrey Keegan, staff writer. Sears may close store. After last week's announcement that Sears, Roebuck & Company would stop publishing its mail order catalog, the future of Nantucket's Sears outlet appears dim. Michael Young, an employee of the Sears and Roebuck catalog store on Nancy Ann Lane, said he is expecting word from the store's main office in Chicago that the Nantucket store will close. The local outlet has not received any official notification, but Young has heard that many independently owned catalog stores will be affected. Some stores will remain open until 1994, while others will close within 90 days, he said. They haven't actually stated for sure that this store will close, but if there's no catalog, then there's no catalog store, he said. Marcy Grossman, a Sears spokesperson, said the company will close most of the 2,000 independent catalog stores that operate across the country. Sears will look at the possibility of using some locations for future retail operations, but Grossman could not specify which sites were being considered for future use. In addition, 113 stores owned and operated by Sears will close. Most independent catalog stores will close down. Sears is evaluating utilizing some catalog selling locations as possible company-owned or independent selling units in certain markets around the country. She said, a total of 50,000 jobs will be lost nationwide due to the closings. 16,000 full-time and 34,000 part-time. Grossman said the Sears catalog operation has lost between $135 million to $175 million in each of the last 3 years. We've concluded that we cannot improve our market position or achieve an improved return on our investment fast enough or with enough certainty to remain in the business, she said. Sears will accept orders from its spring 1993 catalog through the end of the year. The spring issue will be the last catalog published by Sears. Susan Holgate, who purchased the Nantucket store 2 years ago, could not be reached for comment. And then there's a picture of like the store, which looks like you know the section of a store where you like pick up your Oh yeah. I bought a new TV today, and I went to Best Buy to like a similar looking counter where it's like people are bringing the receipts in, and then guys carrying like a box out to them.
Yeah, like the
And it
specialty counter, like customer service counter, right?
Yeah, orders, pickups, whatever. And it says, in the Venera, the Sears store was busy as usual on Wednesday with customers still placing orders and picking up items already ordered. But the future of the local store is in question after the announcement Tuesday that the national chain will close its catalog division. I remember like getting catalogs like into the 90s, I'm pretty sure, because I was of an age, and those catalogs had bikini and lingerie pages.
Yeah, I was familiar with Sears stores. I didn't know there were like specialty catalog stores.
Yeah, because it's an island, so I guess they wouldn't have like, you couldn't reliably like load up like a box store, like a Target type store, and like expect it to turn a profit. So they probably have to like do more specialized kind of thing.
Oh, that makes sense. One thing I love about the modern era is a lot of the Sears stores that went out of business over the last decade or so. I like how they haven't had any new tenants. So I feel like you see a lot of just empty skeleton buildings where you could see the faded, torn off letters, Sears. I feel like there's a lot of those around.
They reopened Sears in the Burbank Mall a couple years ago. I went in and it was like it felt like it was like a quarter filled or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like they had stuff for sale, but it was like pretty sparse.
Well, I'm fine with Sears going out of business. I'm fine with that.
I liked that it existed at a time, but like I was not like a regular Sears goer. But I loved their catalogs, as I already mentioned. They were good. A good what's the word? Catalyst for the imagination, as one ran the shower for way too long. I don't know.
Well, on that note, give me that. Got a headline for you. New Hyannis terminal design ready for view. And this is courtesy of the Cape Cod Times, and it published in the Inquirer and Mirror and written by Paul Anderson. This is before he went on to direct films such as Licorice Pizza and Boogie Nights.
Okay.
And the first public presentation of preliminary designs for the Steamship Authority's $4 million Hyannis Terminal reconstruction project will be made before the Barnstable Town Council February 18th. And originally I pulled this, I assumed it was an airport terminal, but as I continue, you will see just how wrong I was. Boatline attorney Stephen Sayers announced the presentation during last week's monthly meetings of Woods Hole, Martha's Vineyard, and Nantucket Steamship Authority governors at the Gus Canty Community Center. Last September, governors awarded a $490,500 contract to HMM Associates, Inc., a Concord environmental consultant and planning company working with the Keenan and Keeney architectural firm of Catamount and Childs Marine Engineers of Medfield on the design. They got some child engineers working over there. This project is targeted for an April 1994 start with completion planned for 1995. Work will include dredging for a new pier slip, a new terminal building, a concession building, reconstruction of the existing slip, additional passenger parking, and a truck staging area. The vessel, in a related matter, governors authorized General Manager Barry Fuller to proceed with the $500,000 purchase of a third freight vessel, the Insignia. The vessel probably will be used on Hyannis to Nantucket runs. Governors approved Nantucket Governor Bernard D. Grossman's suggestion that the new boat be named the Sankaty. Fuller said the former oil rig supply tender was purchased by the Federal Maritime Administration. The authority will consider spending up to $1.5 million to refit the vessel. And let me tell you, though, that this vessel better have some doors that will not crush people's hands or child fingers. And you better keep your children under control when you're on this vessel.
Amen. Damn right. Well, let's go to business. This is in the Inquirer Mirror. Give me that. I haven't read this yet, but I'm sure it'll It will have aged very well. Gay cruise ship will make stop here. Nantucket will be one stop on a summer cruise of the Northeast aboard a gay-owned and operated ship. Starting July 3rd, the Sea Spirit, which offers all gay cruises, will sail from Boston to Provincetown, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, New Bedford, Newport, Rhode Island, and New York every other week throughout the summer. Alternate weeks, the ship will leave New York for Fire Island, Newport, New Bedford, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, Provincetown, and Boston. The 1 or 2 passenger Sea Spirit, formerly the Newport Clipper, was purchased in 1991 by RSVP Travel Productions Incorporated. It is manned by a primarily gay staff and offers patrons a protected environment absolutely free from the possibility of insult or injury due to sexual orientation, according to an RSVP brochure. It's a totally gay environment, said Andy Schmiedel of RSVP. People can be themselves and not worry about what people are saying or whispering behind their backs. Philip Sum of RSVP said the company has not determined where the ship will dock on Nantucket. Schmiedel said the cruisers will probably attract mostly men because the company has marketed the trips to a male market. Only about 5 to 8% of the people who went on cruises chartered by RSVP in the past were women, he said. Special interest cruises include women-only weeks, single men's weeks, and other things. The 207-foot cruise ship has undergone a complete renovation since it was purchased by RSVP. The Sea Spirit features new interiors with state-of-the-art video, TV monitors, and exhaustive video library, built-in hair dryers, ironing boards, and irons and binoculars in each cabin. The ship offers outdoor dining one evening each week, single seating dining for dinner, and picnic baskets to take to the beach. The cruise costs between $995 and $1,795 per person, with accommodations ranging from a stateroom to a suite. RSVP, a Minneapolis tour company, was founded in 1986 by Kevin Massier. Since then, the company has chartered ships for gay cruises. RSVP is one of the world's largest gay tour operators. The company has run gay cruise charters since 1986 and has sailed over 25,000 passengers in the Caribbean, I don't know how you say that, Mexican Riviera, Alaska, and the Mediterranean. Winter and spring cruises take passengers to the Caribbean, with stops in St. Thomas and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. For more information, contact RSVP, blah, blah, blah. There's info. So, yeah, that's pretty forward. Forward thinking. It's pretty cool.
Both progressive and gay.
Yeah,
and I think my rule is if I'm talking about the Disney film or the ride, it's Pirates of the Caribbean, and then in all other cases, it's Caribbean.
Is it Caribbean? Okay,
that's my rule of thumb.
As someone that was born in Los Feliz, it's hard to know.
Well, give me that. Yeah. I'm going to return to the letter bag because I got a letter to the editor here entitled Nantucket in Winter. It is truly unfortunate that the Inquirer and Mirror shows such a lack of editorial responsibility that it would actually promote prejudice by publishing Paul Conley's missive about winter activities, or the lack of, on Nantucket. Not only did the article show the writer is out of touch with the natural rhythm of the island, but it also projects a holier-than-thou attitude, which this paper cannot afford to espouse. No readership revels in being told how undernourished it is, be it culturally, socially, or financially. Having lived in a standard metropolitan statistical area of over 8 million souls most of my life, I can testify that if Mr. Conley is bored with island living, there are indeed many and varied attractions and distractions available on the mainland for his benefit. Yes, Mr. Conley, just 30 miles away you can lead an anonymous lifestyle filled with opacity and superficial adventures. Just what you are looking for, according to your whining article, carrying your thesis to the point of implying through negative examples that Nantucket and its year-round inhabitants lack culture, beauty, or are not well dressed. It is not only offensive, but raises the serious questions about this publication's ability to fill its pages with quality journalism. If this piece was supposed to be tongue-in-cheek in manner, I would have suggested the editor not accept such a first draft and returned it to the writer for further focus. Then again, I guess Mr. Conley includes himself when he implies there are no good writers on the island. Finally, Mr. Conley has the audacity to suggest his final point pontificating on the number of serfs living on Nantucket. Really, sir, indentured servitude went out of practice years ago. Unless you are lamenting over your own minimum wage and lack of courage to improve your situation, to call anyone a serf even humorously is no different a slang than other offensive class-related euphemisms. Nantucket is one of the least class-conscious communities I have lived in. The heart and soul of this island resides in its year-round residents who understand the magic of this precious and original environment. Residents who contribute incredible energies and talent and skills for the island's future, as well as preserving its wonderful past. It is a balancing act measured in degrees of success that in this age of global awareness, I challenge anyone to show where it is being done better. I would suggest, Mr. Conley, that he sign up for a few sessions at NISDA, tag along with Sunset Chasers to Cisco, walk through the X Gallery, or avail himself with local volunteer work the next time he begins to feel his life is so confined. If that does not work, I will happily contribute towards an economy class ticket to any other reality he believes is so much better than our own. Signed, Gary A. Morrison.
Woo.
Yes, I love getting angry about an op-ed. I do it myself quite frequently.
Oh, yeah. Well, give me that. Vandals tear up Boy Scout camp. By Mark Merchant, staff writer. For the past few weekends, the routine has been the same for Scoutmaster Bob Graves. After discovering the vandalism done to the buildings at Camp Richards, he calls the police to file a report and sets about repairing the damage. But this past weekend was a little too much. While in the past the damage to the camp had been limited to some beer cans scattered around the grounds or some smashed camping equipment, this past weekend, windows and doors were damaged by the vandals. It really gets to be irritating, said Graves, who thinks that the damage occurred sometime between last Sunday and last Wednesday. Oh, why they would want to do this, I don't know. Graves said that there are beer parties in the campsite some weekends, but he doesn't think the same people having the parties are the ones responsible for the windows. There have been parties in here before, I know that, but this is the first time that windows have been destroyed like this, he said. I think it's a crew of younger kids with nothing better to do, he said. Graves has appealed to the Nantucket Police Department for help and extra patrols of the campground. Nantucket Police Chief Randy Norris has acknowledged that there is a problem at Camp Richards and said his officers have stepped up their patrols. We're down there checking it all night trying to get the kids, Norris said. I'd like to see who's doing it get cut. Graves has put no definite dollar estimate on the damage because he will probably do the repair work himself. It's not the expense, really, it's the time, he said. The troop on the island have offered a $100 reward for information that would lead them to the vandals. It's too bad this is happening, Norris said. Whoever is doing it is the only ruining things for the kids. And there's a picture of some broken windows in the door. The door to the shower house shows some of the damage done by vandals at Camp Richard this week. Devastating.
Oh, terrible. So bad. Well, give me that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I pulled up the Q&A here in the Nantucket Inquirer and Mirror. The question posed this week, and Emerson, do you want to tag team this?
Let's do it.
What do you miss most being on Nantucket during the winter? I'll kick us off with Dirk Nietzsche. He's an au pair.
I'm from Germany, and I miss the nightlife. A simple, normal disco, maybe.
I'll go to Mary Jane Regneray. She's a dietary aide. Shopping. When you're off island, you can go everywhere.
Wow. Okay, then we got John Day. He's a clerk. The people that are here in the summer, the people from other countries, and the sun.
The guy's got a nice goatee.
Mm-hmm.
We have Nancy Boucher, waitress, and I'm not sure if it's the woman or the woman holding the girl or the young girl, because
Yeah.
I don't think they had child labor laws in Nantucket.
No, yeah.
And so I'm going to assume that it's like the little girl
little child,
in the woman's arms.
The toddler waitress.
I love Nantucket in the winter. I have all that I could wish for.
Wow. Then we have Michael O'Donoghue, creative director. A library. The Ethereum is great, but I come from a university town where the library was almost always open. I like to catch up on me reading during the winter.
Wow, so the Athenaeum is a building?
I guess so. Is that the name of the library, maybe?
Yeah, I wonder. That's so fascinating because like we pull I think the website that we get these archived issues from is the NantucketAthenaeum.com.
That's true, yeah. That must be their public
There's more
library.
to it than that. I wonder, yeah.
We learn new things all the time here.
I'm gonna Google it to look at it later.
Yeah.
Next up is John Morey. He's an administrator. I live here year round, but I do miss the excitement of the big city, the scope of the culture.
Then we got a carpenter, Jeff Dommey. Being able to go to pro sporting events like the Celtics or the Bruins.
Go Celtics! Then we have Cindy Clarkson, service manager. The malls, being able to travel.
You're not allowed to travel if you're from Nantucket or what? Like,
you get snowed in or something?
I don't know. Yeah, it's illegal.
Or her husband just doesn't let her.
Yeah. And lastly, we have Rachel Blount.
The social life.
Oh, she's a student, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The social life. There's not many people and there's not much to do at night.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what it is like, to the Athenaeum is a public library. Yeah, I wonder what it is like to live on an island like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love Yosemite to death, and I've went a few years ago, but I would go during the summer when there's people there, and there's they've opened bars and stuff. It's really fun.
Huh.
But I imagine the winter months, it's probably pretty dead. It's gorgeous, so you still have so much nature to explore, but you must start to feel kind of isolated and lonely.
Yeah. But if you think about it, we all live on an island. We just live on a big ass island,
Mm-hmm.
We live on a continent-sized island.
Yep. We live on a broken panacea. I'm looking at the Athenaeum's pictures on Google Maps now. Seeing a lot of James Patterson books. It looks really nice, honestly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just did an overview of some national, international headlines, if I can.
Cool.
Iraq, there's an Iraq standoff happening. So the Iraq basically said that they're going to let in weapons inspectors again after the U.S. fired cruise missiles at some Baghdad factories.
Mm.
And if you lived through that Iraq war era, it was headlines for over a decade about how pundits would say Iraq wasn't letting in inspectors, but the reality was they were letting in inspectors all the time, and inspectors were saying there's nothing here. But the U.S. liked to especially Bush Jr., he liked to grandstand they were not allowing inspectors to do the work, but they always were.
Yeah.
And then also in the news, gays in the military. Senate Republicans, including Bob Dole and Strom Thurmond, held press conferences to oppose President Bill Clinton's proposed plans to lift the ban on homosexuals in the U.S. military.
We don't want gays in charge of cruise missiles. Get them on cruise ships.
Send them off to Fire Island. Yeah, kids today probably don't know, but that was like a big thing in the 90s, a big hot topic around the water cooler. If
Yep.
gay people can be, and looking back on it, young people probably think that's dumb, and it was dumb. It was stupid. Of course, let anyone who wants to be in the military in, because
Oh wait, let me actually communicate directly with any young people.
Mm-hmm.
It was super mid. It was not 6'7" at all.
Oh, it was in fact chuggy.
It was definitely not unk. Is it unk? Man, I want to visit the Athenaeum. That looks cool.
And no cap. And then there was also Guatemalan peace talks happening. And this is a fun story here. Do you remember when Jack in the Box had a huge E. coli breakout and killed a bunch of people?
Was that 93?
That was 1993. And the funny thing about that is, we still have the Jack as the mascot, and people forget that Jack in the Box got rid of Jack the Clown as their mascot around 1980, and they got rid of him with a commercial where they blew him up and saying that it was like too cute, and that's the old Jack in the Box. But after this E. coli outbreak, I read an article how they hired a public relations firm, and then they were convinced that the next step was to bring Jack back. So they brought Jack back in a commercial in 1994, where they framed it as Jack's coming back to clean up the mess at Jack in the Box. And he gets his revenge in his first return commercial, where he blows up the boardroom of Jack in the Box corporate.
Yeah.
And then, and so if they didn't have that E. coli outbreak, we may not have had the Jack in the Box mascot the last several decades. He only returned in response to that crisis.
It killed like 18 people.
Damn.
Something like that.
And a lot of them were kids, I think.
It killed 4 children, but like there were 732 people across 4 U.S. states. So California, Idaho, Washington, and Nevada. Yeah, from contaminated beef patties. So like, because people always like make jokes like, oh, Taco Bell will give you diarrhea and like whatever. But most of these restaurants have like really like pretty like very stringent safety protocols.
Oh yeah.
But Jack in the Box actually killed people. It's crazy.
Dude, I have never once gotten diarrhea from Taco Bell, and I'm not shy when it comes to diarrhea. I'll get diarrhea if you look at me sideways, But so I never got that. Never understood that.
I know, me neither.
Yeah.
I mean, we also grew up with Mexican food. Like you grew up in the Bay, I grew up in LA, and so
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like tacos and burritos were pretty standard diet.
I love a good corporate scandal. Like, have you been following the Bricks and Minifigs story?
No, you sent me a video that I haven't really watched, but yeah, please go into it.
Now, just it's I think almost everyone's probably heard of it at this point, but a YouTuber, he took on the case of trying to get the money paid out to this guy and his dad who put his $200,000 Lego collection on, no, what's it called where you get commission on stuff on store, not layaway,
consignment. So
yeah, they put their $200,000 Lego collection on consignment at this store, and then the corporate office, they did a kind of hostile takeover of the store owner, and they basically stole the whole collection. So this YouTuber did these wild escalating pranks in his videos on the corporate office, and it just really snowballed into a huge scandal that maybe that involved the police overreach and police criminality, and it's still going on. There's like a whole mess of court cases now trying to unravel the whole thing. But I recommend catching up with that scandal. That's a fun one. Not yet. It's still in litigation. And one of the things that makes the story so compelling is, we're so used to kind of pat corporate responses to scandals where they, at least on face value, they'll take accountability and give some remuneration, and then the whole thing will go away. But one characteristic of this scandal is the owners and CEOs of the Bricks and Minifigs, they will not budge an inch. and they're lying. They've submitted false police reports that got the YouTuber swatted, and they're just escalating it to a ridiculous degree, to the point where it's likely at this point people are predicting that the whole bricks and minifig company will go under. They've already had franchises like start closing and stuff from the fallout of this. So they're kind of digging their heels in order to steal about $200,000 worth of product, and they're willing to tank the whole company. And it really kind of revealed on a national stage like what the Mormon mafia is and how it operates and everything. And it's a wild story, man.
The wild thing too is that, like, so Jared sent me this video that I don't got 90 minutes to fucking watch the video, but the first thing I did when I saw what the video was is I like took my phone out and shot a video of myself of walking out the front porch and looking to the left, where there is a bricks and minifig store across the street from where I live.
No way, is there?
I sent you that video. You didn't see it?
Wait, no.
Oh wow.
Oh my god, I have to go back to it.
I texted it to you, but I wonder if it like, well, because are you Android or are you iPhone?
I'm iPhone.
Because I can do this. Let me see. Hold on.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Do you ever go into that store?
No. Yeah. And my neighbor and I thought that it was just like a front.
Well, what we're learning about this company, it very well could be. But I kind of feel bad for most of their stores are owned by their franchises, and so I feel bad for the owners because sales are kind of plummeting at all the stores. People don't want to go to the company anymore. You might want to just pop in there and just kind of take a look around and see what you overhear people talking about.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, report back to me, please.
I'm also currently in the middle of building a Jaws Lego kit. It's
yeah.
I work for Amblin for the time, and they, like, for a holiday gift a few years ago, or I think this was last year, they gave us like the Jaws Lego set. It's fucking cool.
I love that set. Cool. Yeah.
I also found there's an oral history interview with Alan Holdgate, the postage stamp. So I'm kind of interested in reading that. It's
probably like 10 hours of him talking about the time a boat washed up on his beach.
I hope so.
He's trying to get $350 out the city of Nantucket. Come on.
Just give it to me, please.
The reason we're here today is to talk about this episode of Wings Labor Days. Are we ready to talk about to hop into the episode?
We are, and actually, this is the first episode I think that Jared texted me like after watching it, being like, "I can't wait to talk about this episode."
Yeah, I've been waiting months to talk about this episode specifically. Do you have an inkling why this episode affected me in such a way?
No.
Okay, well then I look forward to getting to it because
okay.
Maybe I'm alone in this because I've now watched this episode 4 times, and every time I watch it, I'm like, am I missing something? Did I miss a detail here? But no, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't think I did, at least.
Is it the fact that Lowell is murdering 2 people?
Yes. Okay, we can just let's just jump to it. This episode culminates in Lowell attempting to murder 2 people.
Yeah.
And in a very brutal and horrific fashion.
Yes, basically.
And it's played for laughs.
Yeah. No, it was kind of chilling.
Chilling is the right way to put it. Like, this reframes, because there's been times in like Lowell, I've always had a soft spot for him, and I find him lovable in general. But there's been times where he like says something kind of iffy and questionable, and or does something questionable, and you're like, you just let it go, like, oh, that's Lowell. But now he's completely reframed in my mind. He's a murderer. The way he casually does this in broad daylight, that means he's done it before and gotten away with it. And I'm never going to be able to look at Lowell the same again.
Yeah.
He tried to murder Antonio.
Yeah.
We love Antonio.
Well, no, we do. Yeah, we love Antonio.
Come on. It's I don't know. I'm not going to get over this, Emerson.
Yeah.
and but I have felt crazy over the last few months because I'm like, surely someone else has talked about this, but you go to the message boards, the IMDb, nobody mentions it. It's just like in the book, there once was a show from Nantucket. What do they say about this episode in there?
It's just like it just runs over the plot line. It doesn't acknowledge it in any way either.
Okay,
It's a pretty short snippet.
we're gonna have to move on because I can't get over this.
Yeah,
I just can't.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, maybe the idea was that like he'll set them afloat so that they're.
Well, the one thing he says is, I got to get these to the harbor. No, I have to get these to the ferry. So I thought, okay, maybe he's putting them on a ferry to ship somewhere else. Okay,
Yeah.
so they die of starvation and, they run out of air in there or something. They're clearly going to die. Like, to me, that's not an out. And plus, that negates
Yeah.
the fact that he could just be lying. He's not going to put them on a ferry. He's going to dump them in the harbor. But
Yeah,
I'm kind of shook. I'm shook.
it's pretty insane.
But anyway, we do have a cold open this episode.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice one.
Wait, no, we don't.
We don't? Yes, we do.
No.
Don't you tell me we don't. We have a cold open. Wait,
No, we don't.
we
Hell
don't?
no, we don't. No.
Okay, so the that first scene with Helen and Brian and the blankey, that's just a prime show.
That's just scene one.
That's just scene one. Well, damn.
And it's like scene one for a B line that only has like 2 beats, really.
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah, like it's kind of a. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it only has 2 beats. They should have brought it back. But basically, Brian is talking to Helen at the counter.
Well, it opens up and he says something like, nobody makes a tuna melt like you, Helen.
Oh, thank
And
you,
she
Brian.
goes, oh, yeah. And he goes, I guess you could take that as a compliment, which is like pretty mean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then like he like goes into his pocket to pay and he pulls out like his money, but also like a little piece of fabric falls out. And Helen, snags it and goes, what is this? And she goes, if I didn't know better, it almost looks like the like little blue blanket you used to like I guess Linus around,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I love actually like great acting on Crystal Bernard's part here when she goes, it almost looks like, oh my God, it is.
Yeah.
it's very funny delivery.
Yeah, she does a quick dime turn. I love that too.
Yeah.
But she kind of tricks him into lending it to her, and she locks it away in the cash register, right? And then
Yeah.
she goes into the kitchen, and he starts freaking out and trying to get into the cash register.
Yeah. Well, first of all, he defends it saying that it's a good luck charm.
Yeah.
And he tries to play it off like it's like being casual, like whatever, no big deal. And then she's like, Mr. Ladies Man, Mr. Leather Jacket, Mr. Daredevil Pilot, Mr. Cigarette Burner. I don't know, trying to think of like the Wet Hot American Summer. And yeah, she's like calling him out on it and everything. It's like pretty fun. And yeah, so like she throws it in the register, and he walks like as soon as he like goes back to the kitchen area, he kind of like casually just like walks around the counter wearing, what is he wearing? Brian's tie report. Is this a new tie?
I say it's a new tie.
Yeah, so it's like a black tie with almost like comic panels like running vertically down the. I couldn't quite tell what it was.
You know what it
With
reminded
like a
me of?
question mark at the top. Yeah.
The book cover of that old book, The Indian in the Cupboard. How there's like little square compartments, and it looks like little trinkets inside of them, or something like that.
That's so funny. I totally read those books when I was a kid, but I don't think that I had the same cover as you.
Yeah, the cover I had was like these little these little cubbies on a kind of a shelf type thing with little knickknacks in them. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of, but you say comic panels, I see that as well. There's like these little boxy structures with shapes inside of them. And
Yeah. And at the very top is kind of like a question mark shape.
Like a white plume of something.
Yeah. I'd love to get a closer look at that tie.
Yeah, I'd like to really inspect that tie.
Oh yeah, give me a look at that tie. And then I think his second tie this episode is a repeat. Like it's like kind of the Native American head looking thing.
Yeah, like a Hopi blanket or something over red.
Just covered in smallpox.
Uh-huh. And the third tie, I think we've seen, but we have seen this before as well.
Is there 3 ties?
Yes, the third one is kind of similar to the second, so if you blink, you might miss it. But it's got kind of 2 vertical bands with what looks like a headdress almost in the middle. It's another figurative kind of symbol in there. So I
think that's the one I clocked. What was the second one then?
The second one...
were they both red?
They're both red, and they both have a design which could be interpreted as Native American. The second one, I've also, from certain angles, kind of looks like an ornate chandelier to me as well.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
But I like the new one.
Well, any other like fashion comments before? Lowell's looking kind of great, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's not wearing a hat. He's got his hair coned. He's got a thick head of hair. That band.
Yeah.
He's got like a blue jeans, like kind of high. He looks like a 1950s gas station attendant sometimes.
Yes,
tucked in, button up with his like kind of high waist jeans.
And I liked when they were in the fancy restaurant and they gave him a tie at the door, and it's like it looks like it's a child's tie on him.
Yeah,
which makes sense because the restaurants would keep ties around for kids that don't have ties, I guess.
They probably also give him a jacket.
Oh yeah.
So Brian walks around the counter, kind of casually, like basically like Helen goes just back to the kitchen. Brian just kind of casually like meanders back behind the counter and goes to open up the register, and Helen casually like walks back from the kitchen. And before Brian can open the register, she like just removes the key from the register so he can't open it. And I love the way that like both of them play it so like kind of quiet, casual. Like she knew he was gonna come back for it, and he was hoping that like he could get away with like sort of real
yes
quietly doing it.
Yeah, and then he's like, I just wanted to get change for $1, and Antonio is all, it's okay, my blankie was yellow.
One of the 2 VIPs of the episode says, my blankie was yellow.
The blankie boys.
Yeah. And we are in the next scene. I wrote down 11 scenes in this episode.
Yes.
And a lot of them are like scenes that like don't even need to be like split scenes, but they'll have that like bumper that like sort of like so Lowell is back from Boston. He's getting off. I think did he flew Roy's airline?
Yeah, I realized this episode he prefers to fly Aeromass.
7, not 1, 7.
Yes.
Roy's got 7 planes. What's the other one called? Sand something?
Sandpippers?
They only have 1 airplane.
Sand peoples? Yeah. What?
So
why bother with just 1 plane? Get out of here.
Yeah. And so Lowell, people asking how was the trip, and he says, "Oh, it's great. What a vacation." And then he says, "I ended up spending the whole time with my friend Dewey."
Mm-hmm.
And then is it Helen?
Yeah.
That guy with the thing on his ear.
It's got like an ear skin flap.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you swear he was wearing this big dangly earring until you realize it's just this weird piece of skin.
Yeah.
Just hanging there. And then I love Antonio's line. He like pushes his plate away and he goes, El Paso on the pork links.
Yeah. It's funny. Everyone knows Dewey, even if Faye asks if he still works at the Logan Airport, kind of to set Lowell up there. And that introduces kind of the plot of this. His friend Dewey does basically the same job, but for twice the pay. And Lowell seems to think he can get a job there. And so the rest of the gang is going to try to convince him to use that as leverage to pressure the airport to give him a raise, pretty much.
Yeah, Antonio, Faye, and Helen are all kind of like goading him along, right? Is
Yes.
Brian? I don't think Brian's there in this scene, right?
Not yet, no.
Yeah. Which is, you know what's crazy to me in hindsight is like Logan Airport, that's an international airport.
Yes. Yeah.
They're running like, like jets, 727, 747s out of it. I don't understand why Lowell thinks that like working, he'd expect the same pay at like some small island airport as like his friend gets, working at like a Boston's LAX basically.
That's fair, but I do also think it's worth a try. Like I don't think he was misguided in trying to get that raise.
Right.
Maybe he's misguided in trusting
was
Antonio as far as he did.
That's what I was gonna say. I was saying he was misguided, but it was by Antonio specifically.
Which the role Antonio plays in this, I just realized that seems like in an earlier season that would have been Brian being the guy, except that I guess that's a little awkward since he'd be pressuring to get more money out of his brother, but
yeah,
probably
like his own salary, like because we'll get to it, but I'm sure that Brian probably like would want it to get himself more pay before trying to get like Lowell more pay.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I also like love the run like he makes almost twice as much as I do for the same job. That does not seem fair. Well, he's always been blessed. I mean, he's got a great job and a neat car. He's got that cool hanging thing on his ear. What a chick magnet. And like I love like yeah, like Lowell's firing on all cylinders this episode with his like slight misinterpretations and everything.
Yeah. I when I was a teenager I did have earrings, but I almost didn't get my ears pierced because my dad told me a story about a friend he had in high school who got his ear pierced and then like developed a huge like long skin flap after that. It got like infected and grew a huge skin flap. So
Eesh.
I was like scared and then relieved once I got my ears pierced and I didn't get that hangdog ear.
Are they still pierced?
No, I mean, I haven't. I doubt it. They probably closed up.
Gotcha. Yeah. So basically, like Faye's saying he's got leverage, and she goes into just call a meeting with those fat cats in management. Use this job offer as a cudgel and pound away till the swine bleed nickels. And then is it Brian that says the line? He says, well, now we know. Apparently, Jimmy Hoffa was buried inside Faye.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Brian is there.
Oh, yeah, he was. He was. Now that I think about it, he was kind of leaning behind the counter.
Yeah,
and he does something weird at the end of the scene. He's eating something because Brian's always doing business, but then they cut away from him, and when they cut back, he's holding like a long thing that looks like one of those long shoehorns. I watched it a few times. I could not figure out what he was doing.
Interesting. The reason why the first scene is not a cold open is because Brian's wearing the same tie as he was in the first scene, like same outfit completely, and I think Antonio as well. But also, his storyline continues. It's not like a throwaway joke.
Yes, yeah, you're right. But Lowell does get excited, and he wants to talk to Joe right away, and he like storms off. There's no time like the present.
Yep.
And Faye takes the steam out of his kettle.
Joe's on a flight. He won't be back till 12:30. Well, no time like 12:30.
Get Roy in there too.
Yeah, like Roy's at lunch, and his sorry butt won't be here till a little after 1 because he says, "You tell Roy to have his sorry butt in there too."
There's no time like a little after 1.
Yes, and I love like when he walks away, he storms off. Faye goes, well, I think she yells, "Now you keep that attitude, you're gonna get that raise." And then she turns to the others, "I've got a better chance of becoming a rockette." I mean, with those legs though, come on, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Doing
Let's
them
see
high
her
kicks.
kick them legs up. Meows. All right. So then we're the next scene, and this is where we really see like Antonio kind of start to like become the devil on Lowell's left shoulder or whatever the deal is.
Yeah.
Which I love, like, well, wish me luck, Antonio. I'm going for the exercise. And he starts like walking towards the office, and Antonio goes, not so fast. And then he starts walking slower.
And Antonio's going to kind of give him pointers for how to handle this negotiation. He gives
These are all like things that I've seen in other like comedic takes on negotiation. So are these like based on like Donald Trump's book?
That would make so much sense if it was from something like The Art of a Deal. But I think they are kind of, they're definitely business tropes, negotiation tropes.
Business secrets of the pharaohs.
So, what are the business secrets of the pharaohs?
Well, look, the first thing is to acknowledge that the ancient Egyptian era is so completely different from our own that any cultural, political, or business parallels that we draw between the two eras are, by their very nature, almost bound to be wrong.
So he says things like, don't talk first, which is another funny misunderstanding with Lowell, because Lowell thinks he's talking to him and kind of goes, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought you were finished.
But then Antonio advises, always ask for something you have no hope of getting, because then you'll look good when you give it up. And then also make sure that you get in the last word.
Yep. And how does he know all these things?
Yeah. Oh, it's because the business section of the newspaper, he tells Lowell, is the only section people leave behind in his cab.
And then he goes, got it? Okay, all right. Make them wait, something, and get in the last word. Mm-hmm. All right, well, listen, I would love to talk about this, but I don't want to keep Joe and Roy waiting.
And then Antonio, maybe we need to go over this one more time.
And I love it because he's truly taking on that tone of like but it's almost like he's doing it. It seems like he's genuinely trying to help Lowell, but he's doing it in the way of that like kind of guy that's like, don't worry, I got you covered, babe. You know, like,
yeah, just a little too confident.
All right, so then we cut to Joe's office where Roy and Joe are. And I guess we've never seen Roy's office. They probably don't have like a
unfortunately.
I know. I'd love to see. Oh my God.
Well, we saw the contents of his office that one time as they spilled out into the airport when
we did
the bug in there.
The cricket.
That dang cricket. But yeah, Joe and Roy are waiting in Joe's office, and I love the small talk with Roy, where Roy's just kind of biding his time and looking at Joe's like little models and stuff, and he kind of disgustingly is like, are you really into all this aviation stuff?
Yeah. It's just for show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for instance, that model you hold there, the DC is a Douglas DC-3. That plane could really change commercial aviation. I don't doubt it. There's a cow at the controls. Yeah, that's right. You know, when Brian and I were kids, he broke the head off the pilot, so I stole a cow from his train set. Very funny story, actually, but I won't bore you.
Yeah. Too late.
Have you seen, there's this, so Burbank has a model train store called the Train Shack.
Yeah, I've been in there.
You've been there? Yeah. And this fucking delightful Instagram personality named Juliana Chahaya, something like that. She made a video. She like basically her and her partner, or her like I don't know who he is, but he's like her music partner. They made a commercial for it, and they like did a little jingle, and it was like it's edited to look like it's like from the 80s maybe. Hey, what's that? It's the Train Shack. They got tiny things and tiny tracks. It's so fucking great.
That's
and
great.
It gets stuck in my head.
Get your model trains at the Train Shack.
All the time.
Well, that's why I popped in there one time, just because I love miniature stuff. I love looking at miniature tiny things.
Oh, that must be like why we're friends.
Yeah. Yeah. And then at this point, Lowell busts into the office, and that he just kind of freezes, and there's like awkward looks all around until Joe says, "What's up, Lowell?" Aha, you talked first. As if it's a gotcha or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I think Lowell pitches his case kind of well. Yeah. I'll tell you what it's all about, Roy. I think I do a heck of a job around here, so I'd like more money and a candy apple red Corvette convertible.
Yep. No chance in hell.
Okay, I'll give up the vet. Now let's talk about my figure.
But I love what he does. Okay, I'll give it on the vet. He turns like this and he goes, saps.
And I like it. He does the old thing where he writes down a number on paper and pushes it forward, and Roy's just like, nope, without even
like before
at
it doesn't even look at it, just pushes it away. Yeah.
Joe reminds him he recently had a salary review, but Lowell reasons that he now has a new job offer, so that should open up negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Joe looks at the figure written on the paper, he balks that's more money than I make. And I love Roy's little laugh where Roy's like, you're kidding.
Yeah.
But Lowell gives him an ultimatum. Unless you can meet the figure on this piece of paper, you're going to be looking for a new mechanic. And with these last words, I bid you goodbye.
Roy goes like, fine, goodbye.
Mm-hmm. See you later. Later. Much later. Like Lowell clearly wants to get the last word in. So as he's backing out of the room, he just responds until it's just his lips in the door frame.
Yeah.
And he goes, much later.
And then we're at the next scene, which like this is the one that could have been a continuation. It doesn't need to be like a different scene.
The same scene with a dip to black in there.
Yeah, but Roy and Joe are in Joe's office, strategizing on how to keep Lowell, how to deal with Lowell, like with his demands. And Roy kind of takes charge and suggests they take him out for a fancy dinner and make him feel like part of the family.
Damn, I hate to lose Lowell, but there's just no way I can afford to pay him what he wants.
Oh, and you wonder why you have only one plane and I have 7? We're gonna keep him without paying a dime. All we need to do is turn on the old schmoozola. We'll wine him, we'll dine him, we'll make him feel like he's part of the family. Even if he is the weird cousin we keep in the basement.
And Roy wants to make a reservation to wine him and dine him at La Maison. Joe thinks it's too expensive, and so we get the bit where Roy's differentiating himself by saying, just like, basically leave it to me, Roy, because I have 7 planes and you have 1 plane.
Yep.
Joe says he can't afford it. Roy laughs and is like, I know, but we'll split the bill and get double receipts and we'll both write off the full amount.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Great idea. But isn't that cheating the government, Roy?
I know, a little Boy Scout.
1 7. 1
yes.
7.
1 7.
And then we have another scene in the lobby again where Antonio asks Lowell where they are. How did it go with Joe and Roy? Well, I'm not exactly sure, and they never gave me a straight answer, but they did ask me to dinner. Aha, we have just entered the phase 2 of the negotiations. Look, they're trying to soften you up with your dinner so you will forget about your raise. I don't know what the word is in English, but in Italy we call this schmoozola. And so, yeah, basically Antonio advises Lowell to like order the most expensive food, the most expensive wine, and when it comes time to talk deal, just hang tough.
And when Lowell tells him they're going to La Maison, of course they're taking you to La Maison. Where else would they take you, Captain Willie's Clam and Brew?
If they went there, they would have truly gotten me whatever.
Yeah. And then,
otherwise, I'd be putty in their hands.
Yeah.
But also, this is where, like Antonio is being like, remember, your demands are non-negotiable. You already have a job waiting for you in Boston. And then Lowell goes, well, only one problem. I don't want to go to Boston. I mean, I like it here in Nantucket. All my friends are here. All my stuff is here. All my tools are here. Mm-hmm. And Antonio like reassures him, you won't have to go. You're just using that, as your bluff card, basically.
And I gotta say to Lowell, you probably don't have that much stuff because your whole house done sank. So he can't be having too much stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
That was less than a year ago that his whole house sank.
He's got stuff at Joe and Brian's house.
He can't have too much stuff,
I imagine Joe probably like lets him stay there for free which is like another perk of being an employee. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point. And that's awkward now that I think about it. I totally forgot that he's Joe's roommate. So they're doing these like harsh negotiations, and then Lowell just like goes home and makes dinner.
Yeah.
That's kind of strange.
It is strange. Yeah.
Lowell, I like how Antonio, as they're exiting, he goes, "We better go over this one more time." It's that line returns, and then the scene moves over to Brian as he's like sneaking behind Helen's counter again.
Yep.
And as he's trying to open the register, the cash register just starts screaming and beeping.
Like an alarm goes off.
Yeah, and when Helen comes out, he tries to match his voice to the pitch of it, as if he made the register scream on purpose so he can like sing or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he goes through all the bad luck he's had that day and just like admits that he wants the blankie back. So Helen apologizes and gives it back to him. And says sorry. And she says, "It was cruel of me to take it, but just remember the next time you strut through the airport like Top Dog at the Kennel Club, I know the real Brian Hackett is just a scared little 5-year-old boy curled up in his bunk bed with his thumb in his mouth."
Yep.
I'm not.
Yeah, I love that.
But you're right. This kind of B story ends there, and they could have discovered a third beat for that. I think
This is like it's 2 beats basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been fun to like play it. I just texted you the video again. Let me know if it works. But
oh no, you know what? I got it. I think I did get it. I think I just didn't. I think I scrolled past it and never realized. So I'm gonna watch that tonight.
All right. So from there, we are at dinner.
Yeah.
We're at La Maison, which I looked up. I tried to find. I wonder if La Maison was like an actual restaurant in Nantucket back in the 1990s.
I'm going to say it wasn't, because we would have seen an ad in the Nantucket Inquirer Mirror, I feel like.
Yeah, I was going to look for that. That's so funny.
You know?
There is a La Maison in Boston, but I think La Maison is just like a generic name of a fancy restaurant. So I think that's probably what it is.
La Fancy. Yeah, but good on Wings for not using like one of the same restaurant sets they've used in the past.
Although I would have loved to see the restaurant that would have made him Captain Willie's Clam and Brew.
Yes, yeah.
Would have loved to see that place.
This set is a much better set than the restaurant Antonio worked at.
Yeah.
But throughout the scene, Joe's kind of grousing about the prices and worrying that Lowell's spending too much money, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
He whines that the melon in season is $18, and he wonders if the restaurant has the only one.
Right.
And then Roy says, as Lowell's entering, "Here he comes, and remember, he gets anything he wants except for a raise."
Yeah, so he comes in and he like makes a lot of like great comments like, "Oh, I'm enjoying it already. They give you a tie at the door." And then he tells a story about like coming there when he was a kid with his dad.
Uh-huh.
"We would stand outside and he'd press my little face against the window. Everybody looked so rich and happy. Then he'd put his hand on my shoulder and he'd say, 'Son, with any luck someday, you'll be serving these people.'"
And Joe gets a sad look on his face. He feels bad. And
yeah.
I was reminded of the scene from The Bicycle Thieves. I just pictured Lowell as that little child looking through the window.
And I love Roy snapping his fingers. "I love this place. Always a toady within earshot."
And when Lowell starts to order, it's a fun bit because he's kind of going down the menu. First he orders French onion soup and crab cakes. Roy's like, "See, Hackett, that ain't too bad." And then Lowell continues, "Oh, actually, I'll also have the shrimp cocktail and some of this pate, and the sautéed mushroom caps sound nice."
Yep. And then Joe's like, "Lowell, are you just ordering, or are you ordering or just reciting the menu?" "That's a good one, Joe." "Oh, that's all for me. On second thought, these oysters are looking rather appealing tonight." Oh, this is a great joke too. "Bring me all 24, waiter. Sir, 24 is the price, and that's a dozen. I believe 12 is a dozen. And then we cut to like later.
Dip to commercial and come back. Yeah.
Yep. Would the gentleman care for another bottle of wine? No, I don't think so. And then Joe's like, thank God. And he goes, gotta save room for that 100-year-old Napoleon brandy.
He's killing us. He's killing us.
Yep.
Roy's all, Lowell, I hope this evening has proven to you what a valuable member you are of Aeromass and. He forgets the name of Sandpiper. Joe
Sandpiper.
The Aeromass and Sandpiper families, and that our relationship is more than just business. No, it's a friendship.
Yes.
And they all toast to friendship.
Yep.
Then we're all in agreement we'll continue our relationship as is.
Just absolutely. Just as long as I get my raise.
Yeah, he's holding the line. Joe tries to reason with him, telling him what a bad year he's having.
Yeah, money is so tight. I wonder also if Roy is operating like 7 planes and Joe's only got the one, if Lowell is being paid more by Roy than by Joe.
I do not get how it worked, because in an earlier episode it was established that Lowell worked for the airport, but yeah, some of the times they just act like he's Joe's private mechanic or Roy's private mechanic. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Yeah, Joe would only provide him a snippet of the work that Roy would provide him.
But if you think about it, though, Joe has a lot of bad luck with his plane. Like his plane crashed, you know?
Right.
So I think Lowell has his work. I think even though Joe only has one plane, it's shittier than all of 7 of Roy's planes.
Maybe, but still, I think that like when you run an airline, you have to like every time the plane lands before it takes off, you have to like run through a checklist of stuff.
That's true.
I wonder if it's different, with like a private endeavor, but like I still think that there's probably some truth to that.
Yeah. And I love where Roy goes with this. I mean, I would say this is the PC violation of the episode, but it's still pretty great. Roy says, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking there must be something else that'll make this young man happy.
Yep.
I said there must be something else that would make this young man happy. Cut to a sex worker sitting a couple tables away. And she walks right up to Joe and wastes no time before she starts stroking his face.
I'm sorry to be so forward, but you have just made every other man in this restaurant completely disappear. And then Roy clearing his throat and like gesturing at Lowell.
Yeah, she crosses
and she
over.
says the same exact line.
Same spiel to Lowell.
Yep.
And Joe's like, oh, brother, I'm not paying for this. And
she tells Lowell that she's Marcia Peebles. It's like Pebbles, but with an extra E, one less B, and a capital P. And Joe says, which stands for pool.
It says the P stands for pool.
I don't quite get that.
I did not understand that, and I had to look it up. It's a reference to The Music Man. There's a song in The Music Man where it says like a similar thing where the P stands for pool, but they're talking about like the song. I listened to the song. It's kind of about how this pool hall is going to be the ruin of the town.
Okay.
And they say the P stands for pool in there, but it's a dumb reference. I didn't really like that whole moment with the names, spelling, and everything. That did nothing for me, especially if it's just a setup to a bad joke about a Music Man reference.
You had to be there, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a you had to be there. Like
if your joke requires you to do research.
I feel like even in the 90s, referencing a 1960s musical was kind of a stretch.
I don't think so, actually. I think the 90s was obsessed with the 60s.
Yes, yeah, and people still do love musicals, and I know a lot of people love the Music Man musical, but that's just a line from a song in a movie, you know? Okay,
Lowell says, I'm Lowell Mather. That's Mutter with an extra A, H, and E, and no O's. And then Joe pulls Roy aside. A hooker, Roy? A hooker? Oh, grow up. Lowell's on the ropes. She's the clincher. As a matter of fact, that happens to be her nickname. Now sit down, shut up, and don't mess up this deal.
That might have been my heartiest laugh when I was watching that. When he says that's her nickname, oh my God. And then, when they go back to the table, Lowell's like, guys aren't going to believe this, but Marcia just broke up with her boyfriend.
But basically they get back into negotiations.
Because Joe's like, can we talk business? It's hard to put a price on friendship. And then Marcia's like, oh no, I've been taken care of. Not you.
Yes. Lowell, I honestly cannot afford to pay you anymore. Basically they both say that they're unwilling to budge on his raise demands. And he says, look, you guys know my price is non-negotiable. If you can't meet my figure, then I'm going to have to take that job in Boston. And then they say, well, then I guess you should.
And I guess you should.
Go? You mean like really go?
Yeah, sorry, Lowell.
Well, I guess there's nothing else to say. Marcia, we're leaving.
She's not going anywhere.
Roy, you're not the boss of her.
Lowell, he sort of is. See, Roy paid for her. She sort of comes with the dinner.
Wow, this really is a good restaurant.
And now a question for you. Are we in Antonio's cab?
We are, yeah. Lowell climbs into the back of Antonio's cab for some reason.
I'm guessing like Antonio gave him a ride to the thing and like kind of was giving him tips along the way or something.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. How did it go? Did you do what I told you?
Yeah.
And Lowell's really upset and unhappy because they told him to go to Boston, and Antonio thinks it's great, of course,
What are they, the Dropkick Murphys?
The Celtics? Antonio's now we're going to enter, was it phase 3 or phase 4 or something? He thinks they're going to crack, and Lowell says, yeah, I do feel like cracking, Oh, and I like that we learned that Lowell is scared of Boston, but he's also scared of the sound that a can makes when it drops out of the soda machine.
And spiders.
But now they're in phase 3, the waiting game. Antonio seems to think that they're going to crack and give him his raise before he can leave for Boston. And Antonio asks, any other questions?
Yeah. Do you know where Marcia Peebles lives? Which I'm guessing, like, since Roy paid for her.
Yeah.
They're probably like back at Roy's house now.
That's exactly what my thought was.
Or maybe they went to her place and Lowell shows up and sees Roy.
Oh my God.
Roy deep 3 in her.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But then we're back at the terminal, and it's a day or a couple days later, and Lowell is like all packed up. He's got his luggage. He's waiting at the Aeromass counter. Roy's calls the flight for Boston. You can kind of tell Lowell doesn't really want to leave, and Roy's kind of hurrying him along, saying it's now or never, go get on the plane, basically.
Yeah.
Lowell still kind of thinks that Roy and Joe are going to cave, but he keeps getting disappointed as people come up to say goodbye to him.
Yeah, he says stuff like, is there anything else you want to say to me? And like, I love the running gag of, leave the men's room key
on the counter here. And how come there's a moment where Lowell says Boston and he says it weird. He says it's kind of like Boston or something. Did you catch that?
No.
Boston?
Here's where the new guy walks by and Lowell clocks him. And it's Phil Lamar from Mad TV.
You are watching Mad TV.
And Antonio comes up. He's excited. And he calls this his favorite part. Phase 4, the final countdown.
Yes.
Antonio thinks that they hired a fake new mechanic just to scare him.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he's probably not a real mechanic. The new mechanic, Gil, comes up. Lowell decides to kind of grill him on mechanic stuff and asks him how you would change a LaRon sensor on a Cessna 402. What's the matter, Gil? You don't know how, do you? Well, sure. You reach behind the altimeter and feel for the metal Y connector. Unplug the left side. Find the blue wire, thread it through the new sensor housing, reseal, plug in the test coordinates, and you're in business.
Yeah, I mean, also great job in his voice. I love that the scene. I was like, this guy's got a great voice, which I imagined that he was a voice actor before you confirmed it for me, because he's got a great voice. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, if you go down his IMDb, he's in a million cartoons. It's crazy. But I do like how Lowell's like, the blue wire. So Lowell's apparently been doing this incorrectly for years.
Yes.
Every other time we watched Wings, I was kind of the mind like, he's not an idiot. He's kind of on the spectrum a bit. Like he has really specialized knowledge in certain things, but then he's obtuse and dim in other areas. But I always just took it at face value that he has all the mechanic stuff worked out and he's a good mechanic. With Gil's line there, I'm like, oh great, I can't even consider him a good mechanic now. So this episode really deflated for me who I thought Lowell was, you know?
Yeah.
Not in a positive way, but I'm going to be forced now to see Lowell from a totally different framework.
Yeah.
But Helen runs up. She packed him a little something for the flight. Gave like a little snack or something. Brian comes out. Hey, Lowell, hey. We all chipped in and I was elected to buy you a gift, but I totally screwed up, so here. And hands him
hey,
up.
shit. Ellen Arkin's back.
Take a big wad of cash. And he just hands him like a ball of cash, you know?
Yeah.
And everyone says goodbye, but it is kind of... I'd be sad if I was Lowell, because it's not like a big hearty goodbye. Everyone does kind of like a perfunctory goodbye. And then Lowell just kind of leaves. And he's... everyone goes back to work, and Lowell just is looking in the window through the terminal. Just like he was a child again, looking in at the restaurant.
I mean, he took bad advice from Antonio and like really like didn't. I think the fact that he was demanding a raise that would pay him better than what Joe makes.
Yes.
What like should have been an indication that like he's barking up the wrong tree.
I agree. I totally agree, but I do think the idea of asking for a raise was a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
And I do think that Joe and Roy were being unfair. They should have at least tried to offer him something, like what they could offer, you know? And I don't care what Joe's saying about having a hard year and his business being tough. Nobody has the birthright to own a profitable business. If you can't run your business at a profit without underpaying your employees, you don't deserve to have a business. And I do think he probably is underpaying Lowell, and Lowell does deserve some extra remuneration. And I think it was cold-hearted of Joe and Lowell to not at least negotiate a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But we get a little sad stinger as Lowell's looking in through the window. And then we come up to what I would call scene 11.
Brian and Joe are in Joe's office, and they're like arguing about something, right?
It's like music, about Brian doesn't like country music, and Joe's trying to convince him to enjoy country music. It's an unnecessary moment, but
yeah, I liked it because it was a good way to like set up the scene, like sort of like establish that they're in the middle of a thing, because it's like so much better than like, you know, like improv scenes where, oh well, we're here in your office. I don't know, like just like
But that would have been a great moment for a blankey bit, like a third beat of the blankey, and then the next thing interrupts that, you know. And then but they notice when they're kind of talking about country music and stuff, they notice Lowell's in the hangar with a forklift lifting some big barrels of murder barrels.
Yeah.
What the hell is Lowell doing here? Lowell, morning. Why aren't you in Boston? Why would I be? You moved there yesterday to start a new job. Now why would I do that? I'm perfectly happy here. Lowell is psychotic.
Yes.
I now believe he is a psychopath.
Yep.
And then they ask him what's in the oil drum. Just some junk we don't need around here anymore.
Yep.
And you start hearing Gil knocking from the drum. Reveals he's got Gil in an oil drum on the back of his truck. And and they wonder, like, why didn't he just ask if he wanted to keep his job? And then they wonder where who comes in and asks for Antonio? Someone walks in and asks if they've seen Antonio.
Has anyone seen Antonio? They're towing his cab.
Antonio.
And that's it. They just I'm sorry, I just can't accept this. Like, okay, so Lowell tried to murder his friend and another person. What makes this more outrageous to me is that the reaction from the others does not match. Like, they should have been horrified.
Right.
They all should have been horrified. Like, this man came back to work as if nothing happened, which is strange enough as it is, and now he has 2 murder barrels. And we've caught him. We've caught him in the act of premeditated murder. Right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
No, it's for real. Yeah, like,
well, maybe
I don't know.
Maybe I'm taking this too seriously because it's a sitcom. Is this a normal thing on sitcoms where a beloved character attempts murder on 2 people and is played for laughs?
I think in a way it is, like, the idea of, like, because Wings has, like, a bit of a through line, but you know, like, a lot of sitcoms are kind of like each story is sort of like a throwaway, like it doesn't actually like affect the following story.
Yeah,
but it's still pretty odd.
If this show was more arch, like if it was like Arrested Development or something, I might, you know, I might be like, oh, okay. But this show doesn't really go that far usually.
Yeah.
To murder.
But Jared, you gotta understand, it was the 90s. putting a person in a barrel and taking them to the dock, that was something you would do on a Tuesday. Yeah. No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
No, and I guess like next week he's just gonna be the mechanic again and won't even acknowledge it.
They will never acknowledge it again. And I'm never going to get over it. There won't be a single episode I watch where Lowell appears where I don't think of this moment.
You get over it.
But I'm kind of coming to the realization that it's a me thing. The internet wasn't bothered by it. I don't think you're too bothered by it.
It bothers me, but I think you'll get over it.
Yeah. So.
You'll get over it. Yeah. No, I can see it in your pretty little eyes, Jared. You're going to get over it. You're not going to think twice about it. You're just going to, here, come with me. Let me lead you down. But you see one of the funniest characters in the whole show, right? If he wants to maybe like put a couple guys in a barrel one episode, you know what? Just let him have his little kicks, you know, but don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine.
I'm thinking of that line from Better Call Saul after they're kind of just like have PTSD because they saw Howard get murdered. And then Saul's like talking to I'm forgetting the character's name now. He's talking to her and he's like, you know, one day you'll be going about your day and you'll just think to yourself, hey, I haven't thought all day about that time Howard got murdered. I guess I'm fine now. That'll be me like 10 years from now realizing, hey, I haven't thought once today about how Lowell from Wings tried to murder 2 people. I guess I'm fine now. But anyways, other people had thoughts about this episode.
Oh yeah,
did you see that? Did you catch that IMDb review?
Is that the same person also? They write
E.T. Mahoney.
No, the other review person that
maybe
I'll jump into it.
I didn't see a name on this one.
This episode gets progressively better. Yes, there's the B plot with Brian's blanket, which is fine. It gets maybe 2 minutes of total time, which is perfect. Funny little premise. Throw some slate. They spell slate.
Mm-hmm.
Throw some slight attention that way, but don't spend any significant amount of time on it. Perfect. The main course is Joe, Roy, and Lowell. Excellent. And then the restaurant scene with Dr. Cuddy from House and an episode of Frasier was in other stuff, and watching old episodes of things, she pops up here and there. Pretty sure she was in the Seinfeld too. This was a relatively rare 8 from me for an episode of Wings. 8 seasons, and I had maybe 10 episodes I rated an 8. No 9s, no 10s. I was surprised there was that many 8s, actually. Same with the Drew Carey show. More than I thought 8s. A lot of 1s and 2s and 3s in both. Mostly in the back end. Cynthia Watros in the Drew Carey show. And what's her name? Redhead Casey Hackett here. Very similar. Very solid, mediocre episodes throughout, but some doubles and triples, as well as strikeouts. This was one of the top 10 episodes of the series, in my opinion. And then we got helpful, 0, thumbs down, 3.
That has to be the same guy. I didn't even see that review.
Will you see that?
I saw a different review.
You did?
I'll read this one out. I thought there was just only this review. I don't know where I was looking. In this episode, Lowell is trying to get a pay raise from Joe and Roy. In the episode Stew in a Stew, when Joe is conducting performance reviews, Lowell asks Joe to give him a review. Yet Joe states he really shouldn't because Lowell works for the airport and not Sandpiper Air. Therefore, in this episode, Lowell should be getting his raise from the airport and not Joe and Roy. I think I saw that in the goofs section, actually.
Oh, okay.
As a goof. That's how I remembered that point too. Did you have a VIP for this episode?
Lowell. I literally gave Lowell a full episode. But the 2 for me would be Antonio and Lowell.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go ahead and give it to Lowell.
The 2 for me would be Antonio and Roy.
Uh-huh.
I think my heart is with Roy. My head is with Antonio. So I'm going to go with my heart and say Roy. Only on the basis as he had some of the funniest lines for me. No, I changed my mind. I'm going Antonio because Antonio was necessary for the plot, and his And I did like seeing him in mission mode, and I thought that this is an interesting bookend to the episode where Roy tried to help Antonio with his neighbor problems. And then Antonio got royally screwed at the end. And then I think this is kind of the bookend of that, where now Antonio's trying to be helpful and totally screws over Lowell.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll just keep paying it forward, and now Lowell will try to be helpful to Helen and destroy her lunch counter.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, the big question, how many stripes would you rate this episode?
I thought it was a pretty good episode, so I'd go 3 stripes.
This is a struggle for me. There's 2 stripes that come to mind.
Yes.
Only 2. There's only 2 stripes I could give this episode. I could give it a 1 or I could give it a 4. Now, I think long and hard about this and really evaluate what a stripe means to me. So I am decided I'm going to go 4 stripes.
Okay.
Reason being is I am genuinely conflicted over this episode because I enjoyed watching this episode. I watched it 4 times. There's a lot of things I genuinely like in this episode. I thought the restaurant scene was really fun, and some of the running jokes are pretty good. And a couple of great laughs. But at that moment where we learn Lowell's a murderer is so impactful to me. It's when I look back on the whole series, it may turn out to be the one moment that's most memorable to me, without assigning whether it's good or bad. It just had a remarkable emotional effect on me, and I just have to acknowledge that and say, like, that makes this a powerful episode. And this is such a powerful episode, I have to go 4 stripes.
Okay. Love it.
Cool. Well, can I pull up I like to open up the emails and see what other people may have said about this. And as always, I have not pre-screened this email, so I'm going to scan it now and see what is good. Okay, so this comes from Nan Hackett, who she always writes in her thoughts on the upcoming episodes, which I think is great, and she makes a lot of great points. But she found the alternate title for this episode is Helen is a Bitch. She thinks she was being really mean to Brian for carrying her out as Blanky. And so her thinking is that Brian regressed after his mom left, and that's why he got attached to the Blanky, which I think is that's some excellent psychoanalyzing. I think that's great. And so she thinks he was traumatized, and it's unfair for Helen to prank him with the thing. She calls this a filler episode. Nothing wrong with it, and not one of her favorites. She feels bad for Joe when he laments that that's more money than he makes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm a bit miffed at Lowell, though, she writes. He lists off all the reasons he wants to stay in Nantucket, which is fine, but not once does he mention that his boys live in Boston now. All my friends are here. All my stuffs are here. But what about your sons, Lowell? It just seems sad to me that he wouldn't consider that as a plus to moving to Boston. I didn't even think of that. I 100% agree with that. Like being a dad myself, I only spent 3 days away on a business trip where I didn't see my son, and those were like the hardest, most depressing 3 days. I can't imagine living in a different city, let alone a different house, So I think that's a amazing point that she made.
Yeah.
Nan Hackett loved the Music Man reference.
Okay.
So she got it. That went over my head, not hers.
Yeah.
And that's it. So yeah, and again, she did not mention the fact that we all learned that Lowell is a murderer.
Yeah.
So it's just me apparently that is profoundly affected by that.
Yeah.
But we did it. We talked about this episode of Wings, which was this episode 13 of season 4.
It was, yes.
And next time we'll be back to talk about episode 14 of season 4, entitled I've Got a Secret.
Yes. And is this one not available on Paramount? This one might not be.
I've got a little secret for you.
But if you email us at what is the email again?
WingsNutsProgram@gmail.com.
So if you need access to it and you can't get to it, please let us know.
But that was it. We talked about this episode of Wings. Thank you, Emerson.
Thanks, Jared.